Hey there. Welcome to Be Unmessablewith the podcast. I am your host, Josselyne Herman-Saccio, and today is a turbo tip, and I want to talk to you about being right. Being right is like heroin for a human being. They want it, they need it, they get addicted to it, and they will fight for it and sometimes die to be right. Have you ever heard the term dead right? Well, that's pretty telling. So oftentimes when I'm coaching somebody and they have a struggle in their relationship. So for yourself right now, you want to look at where are you struggling in a relationship? Where are you in a battle of some sort, in a little war, I should say, as some sort? Most of the time, when you are struggling or suffering or somehow butting up against someone else in your life, it is about being right. It is about that you are determined to be right. You don't even think about being right. You just are right. And I want to just offer you that that's a sucker's game. There is no winner in the right wrong game. And there is no such thing as right and wrong in reality. Now, I know some of you are saying, yeah, but it is not right to, it's wrong to kill a child or it's wrong to, okay, I get it. And it's a valid view. However, from your view, it's always right. And from someone else's view, it's always right. So, there are circumstances in which murder is protecting your household, right? So it's a different context. Now, I'm not justifying murder and I'm not justifying hurting children or anything like that. So you have to be able to hear this with two sides of your head. This is about you and your relationships. Mostly, we're not talking about, killing somebody. We're talking about being right about your opinion or, some view you have or a belief. Your right and wrong is constructed based on a view. So, from your view, and this is from anybody's view, from my view is always right because it's all I can see. Your view seems right because it's what you see. And to you, that's reality, right? But think about it this way. If you and I were standing on a street and we were both seeing the same car, we would have a different view of that car. I might slightly see a little bit to the left of the bumper. You might see a little bit to the right of the bumper, but the view would be distinct because in physical reality, we couldn't have the same view because we can't be standing in the same place at the same time. So if you look at it that way, whose view of the car is right? That's a trick question. There is no right view. There's just whatever view you have from wherever you're standing right now. And that, where you're standing isn't just physically, it's based on your beliefs, based on your experiences, based on your memories, based on, the things that have happened to you in the past and the decisions you've made that color your view. So if you think about other people's view that way, there are people who are what we would call terrorists, but for them, their view is they're operating in honor of God. So it's totally based on view, right and wrong. So if you stop playing the right and wrong game, and that doesn't mean that you should go out and just do whatever you want, because obviously to function in society there are rules, and your performance inside of the game depends on you following certain rules or changing the rules in some cases, which is definitely possible in most cases. But the point is, your view is not reality, it is a view of reality. So think about that. If your view isn't reality, I mean, it's a real view, it's just not reality that you're viewing. Your view is a view of reality. When that really sinks in, you start to realize, well, someone else's view is their view of reality. So it's not that it's right, it's not that it's wrong. It may be different than your view. Then you can all of a sudden stop arguing to convince people that your view is the right view, because that's what most arguments are. My view is the right view, my belief is the right belief, my opinion is the right opinion, and let me show you how yours is baloney, right? And then you end up in an argument or you end up with a struggle because basically you're diminishing someone else's view and trying to prove your view right. So if you take right and wrong out of the equation, just imagine there is no right and wrong, which I think Shakespeare said there's nothing either right or wrong, but thinking makes it so. Might have been good or bad, but same concept, okay? If you take that out of the equation and there is no right or wrong, and all there is are a bunch of views, 8 billion views, if you think about how many people there are on the planet, then there's whatever view you have, and then there's whatever view your husband has, or whatever view your teenager has, or whatever view your neighbor has. And you can stop trying to prove your view right if there's no right or wrong. Now, just think about that for a second. Imagine if you no longer spent any time trying to prove your view right and another person's view wrong. How much time would that save you in your life? Let that sink in, because I'm telling you, most people spend a tremendous amount of time and energy in the game of right and wrong. I'll give you an example from my own life, right? So my mom always wants me to get a flu shot. She has a view that I'm around a lot of people and it's dangerous and I should get a flu shot. My view about flu shots are, I don't know that they really work. I'm not really big on getting shots if I don't need to, so I'm sort of like in the middle about the flu shots. But I'm not defensive about it, or I have to prove to her that her view is wrong and you don't need shots and the statistics are this. I don't have to make her smaller because of her view. I allow her to have her view. I even listen to her view. I go, tell me more. Tell me why this is so important to you. And I don't have to defend my view because I'm not in contradiction to her view. I just have a different view. So if you can allow people to have their view and even get curious about their view, actually ask them, and how else do you see it? And what is that aspect of your view? And tell me more about that without having to protect, defend, and prove your view right and their view wrong. You will all of a sudden open up a space in your relationship where the struggle ends, the war ends, when you're open to people communicating their view. Doesn't mean I'm going to change my view. I don't even, it doesn't matter, because I am not my view. I have a view. If I move over to the left, my view will be different. So if you find yourself stuck in the rightness of your view, you might want to try moving to the left a little bit, moving to the right a little bit, asking people about their view. Tell me more about that. Tell me why you see it that way and what contributed to you having this view. And just get curious rather than defensive or on the attack, which only creates tension and drama. So I let my mom talk about her view about the flu shots. And sometimes I even get a flu shot because I am not my view. My view is malleable. I am not stuck with my view. Therefore, I'm not stuck trying to defend my view or prove that it's right. So what I'd love you to be left with out of this conversation is, you have a view. You are not your view. People have a view. They are not their view. And you don't have to argue for the rightness of a view, because there is no right or wrong when it comes to views. There is just whatever view you have at that moment of time from where you're standing. Views are valid as views. They're not valid as the truth. There is no view that is true. There's only whatever view you have or somebody else has. And, don't be so stuck in your view, because the minute you get stuck and you start trying to prove it and give reasons for it, you put yourself in the prison of your own view. And that's a little crazy to self-imprison yourself, don't you think? So, in any case, if you got value out of this, please leave a comment, rate, review the episode, share it. And, I'm offering you a free gift at the end of this episode. It's a free download of my book, Peace Promises, because so many people get stuck in this arguing over the rightness of their view. And I'm committed that people have peace in their life, not only peace of mind, but peace in their community, in their family, in the world. And this book is a 30-day program to empower you to create more peace at every level of your life. So feel free to download it as my gift to you. And we'll see you on the next episode of Be Unmessable with, the podcast.